Hello, everybody. This is Dragon's Bane, also known as RuneScape by the Numbers Boom. So today's video is going to be about mining. So I have tested the new perks out for the new update that they gave us, and I have spent over 114 million. It was not easy because trying to get those perfect end slot things were not easy. So I'm going to teach you today about how to make 7.4 million an hour. Now keep in mind that is based on whether or not you have every single item that I'm wearing. Now I did test out the perks at different areas, and I tested on Baneite ore, light animica, dark animica, iron and coal deposits, and as well as concentrated gold and concentrated concentrated coal. So at the end of it all, in summary, gold deposits, the concentrated ones, was the best places to get your GP per hour. It is not the best place for EXP. So this video is only about the GP part. So, the perks that I tested out and finalized on was these. Careless 5 with Fortune 2, Honed 6, and Prosper. Now, the Careless 5 and Fortune 2 was the hardest one to get, primarily because Fortune 2 just did not want to pop up. I got a lot of everything except that, so be prepared. It doesn't have a very high chance. But I actually ended up with 2 of these gizmos, and I did not realize I had already succeeded. Guess I was spamming that click button. Alright, so that following items are necessary to get that full amount. Now, I have the Death Pickaxe, as you already seen. I have Taga's Warhammer, and the only real requirement for this method is the Golem outfit. That is 100% required. You cannot do concentrated ore without it, because you'll just eventually die because those monsters will stay aggressive. So, I also have the Gathering Cape with the mining perk on it. I also have the Superior Rock Crushing Scrimshaw, which you can get from the port. Now, if you don't have that unlocked, you can buy the purchasable and tradable version off the GE. It's not as strong, but it'll work in a pinch. I also have the Grandmaster Aura, or Legendary Aura, the Quarry Master one. So that helps out quite a bit. I always put the plus 1 hour on there for the 10 Visa because that's actually worth every bit of that 10 Viswax. So, pretty much at the end of it, I was pulling in a minimum of 6,000 ore per hour. I also have the Elder Rune box with a very large amount of gold spirits. So these items here are useful, like the Gargoyle is very useful. He gives you a passive critical hit chance, so it's really helpful. The Mushroom Spores is not really needed to be in there. That was my own doing. This Premier Artifact really does help out a lot because if you put on there for the portables, it has a 10% chance to activate, and that really does help you save with portables. I have an upgraded Grace of the Elves. It is not required to have the upgraded version, but it sure damn helps a lot with that 2,000 cap. That lets me stay there for easily 2 hours with no problem. I don't have to go back to the bank. I also use a summoning potion sometimes when I'm not paying attention, because I only touch the phone every 10 minutes. And when you get your summoning points down here down to 100, you need to recast another pouch, otherwise you won't be able to do it without banking. So if you miss it, that's what the summoning potion is for. It just refills that enough to where you can summon and not have to go to the bank. Now, like I said, this is pretty easy setup. I mean, once you have this set up, you can literally AFK for 2 hours at a time without having to go to the bank. Literally pop in a movie and just touch the phone or the laptop or tablet or whatever device you're using at least once every 10 minutes. What I always do is just swirl the map, or I click on changing my inventory back and forth, and that does enough to keep the game logged in. So that's pretty much the end of this video. It's short and sweet. There's really not a whole lot to it, but I just figured I'd let you guys know. I have tested out every GP maker that you can with mining, and nothing comes close to the concentrated gold. Even light animica only maxed out at 4 million per hour with all the best perks, including explosive, which just did not do enough of bringing in the ore, and that does not count porters. So I make my own porters, and I get my dragon stones from killing creatures. So I don't really count those as part of my expenses. Well, thank you for joining me for the video today, and if you like it, feel free to put a like. I really don't care if anybody subscribes. I just like sharing what I have. God bless, and you guys have a great day.